What's going on, everybody? It's your boy Zoe Notice off DFS here to bring you that NBA slate breakdown for a decent sized NBA slate. You guys know what time it is, you know what it is. And if you guys look at the screen, you see it looking at all that green. This was a slip that I dropped on the Patreon yesterday, fantasy point props. I literally titled it, "These are my favorite fantasy point props." Told you guys my favorite two, which was Brandon Miller and Luka Doncic. If you paired that up, you definitely cash very well over there on the Patreon. This was a six slip right here down there at the bottom. You can't see it right now on screen, but if I move this up some, you'll see Kevin Durant. He failed. He missed it just barely because it was the Devin Booker show yesterday. Did not expect D Book to cook the way that he did, but I mean, he went off. Was unconscious, hitting some crazy fadeaway threes, moving jumpers. It was ridiculous. So nothing to take. KD definitely had a chance to get there if he knocked down two or three more shots. On top of that, he could have got a block towards the end of the game and got the rebound, but we'll take it. Doubled up. I'm gonna go right back at it again. That does nonetheless. If you guys are looking and you guys enjoy that type of content, props, you're looking for more prop plays, things like that, list for that, check the link down in the description below for the Patreon. All that stuff is posted up there. Normally get that out midday, afternoon, especially whenever the fantasy point props come out, and my favorite props whenever they're up there on the board. And then also, if you guys are looking for just free slips on Twitter, on X, whatever you want to call it, I have been posting my game stacks. Definitely getting more active over there. So if you guys are looking for something like that, check that out. Yesterday almost went 6 of 6 again. The slip I had posted prior, the day before Taco Tuesday, was the Anthony Davis slip. We seen that cashed easy day. Yesterday's slip hooked by a dunk. Brook Lopez could not get one putback dunk out there for me. Everything else cash hit. Donovan Mitchell, he clutched up when he came back in the fourth. Jared Allen, same thing for him. Dame, he stayed under. That was pretty easy. And then Chris Middleton and Giannis, they both dominated in what they normally do. So all in all, pretty good reads right here on this game. Brook Lopez, just any prop that I would took for him would not have hit. Period. So definitely don't blame Brook. Definitely something just interesting that he actually did not record a dunk. He's typically gets a lot of dunks normally. So was a little, but. You live and learn. Definitely something I would go back to. A little tidbit, free nugget. If you guys are ever playing like a team, or you pay attention to some of the teams who have weak centers or just weak around the rim, or a player that typically does not shoot well, like Giannis. His dunk yesterday was sitting at 2.5. I want to say he ended the game with like 5 or 6 dunks. So that's one of those easy ones that you could easily take right there, especially for Giannis. Just if like you pay attention to the game and you understand and you watch those type of things. And then I did post another one yesterday. That was the OKC Thunder one that I posted. Came close, but unfortunately the game did blow out. SGA, he killed it. Chet, easy, no brainer. Jalen Williams didn't get his fourth quarter run like he normally does. Vaso, he killed it. Wemby down here at the bottom, you can't see it, but he got his 2 dunks. He had 3. And then Cho-Chan didn't get his fourth quarter run. So all in all, not a bad day yesterday on the prop sites. Definitely looking to try to repeat it. If you guys are looking for my full list of props and things like that, check the link down in the description below for the Patreon. That will be uploaded right there. Everything else, I will post a game stack or two up on the Twitter or X, whatever you want to call it. With all that being said, if you guys are new here, make sure you guys hit that subscribe button so you don't miss any of the content that I am putting out. A lot of this stuff, it is free. And if you're looking for more free content, I just gave you ways that you can actually get some of that. And then also drop a like on this video if this video or any of the other content and stuff that I put out is helping you guys win some money. All right, going on over here, looking to break down the slate. Of course, as always, we start with the injury report. So looking at it, should be some decent games. A couple of these teams are on a back-to-back. Philly, Indy, they didn't play yesterday. No news really report for Philly. Tobias Harris, game time decision, but I do expect for him to play. Over here on the Indy side, Hallie, he is still out. Biggest thing for us, we're just going to need to know who's going to be sliding into that starting lineup right there. Whether or not, if it's going to be T.J. McConnell or if it's going to be Nembhard. You ever just have a phone call, interrupt your recording in the middle of your recording, and you have no clue where you left off? That's me right now. And the sad thing is, I don't know what I covered already. So, if I said this already, I apologize, guys. So Philly taking on Indy, interesting game. Just need to know if Tobias Harris is going to be in or out. I expect him to play. Hallie, he's going to be out again. So TJ McConnell or Nembhard is going to slide into that starting spot, depending on who starts right there. Definitely interested in that. Utah, no news for them. Biggest thing is that they've been messing around with John Collins and Walker Kessler at the center position, but last game, Collins, he saw his full allotment in a minute, so nothing too worrisome right there. Should be fine. Definitely is a good matchup going up against Washington. Washington, they played last night, mid-30s for all their starters. They should be good to go here. Biggest thing is that just Daniel Gafford, out of all the starters, him and Bagley, they're splitting those minutes at the center position, roughly 22, 24-ish minutes for those guys right there. Boston, no news for them. unless they're on the front end of a back-to-back. We don't have to worry about anybody being rested here. Miami, Terry Rozier, he made his debut yesterday. Biggest thing in regards to this right here is he came off the bench, so we'll pay attention maybe to make sure he's still just coming off the bench, not going to start. Minnesota Timberwolves, Mike Conley was out yesterday. Just need to know if he's going to be in or out today. If he's out, then we're going to see Nickeil Alexander-Walker slide back into the starting lineup. The Brooklyn Shitters, Spencer Dinwiddie, screw this whole team. I don't even want to talk about him, but Cam Johnson, he's a game time decision. If he's going to be out, we'll probably see geez, I can't even think of the guy's name anymore, but I'll touch on it when I actually get over there to that team right there. Denver playing pretty good right now. No news really report. Reggie Jackson, he should be in. New York Knicks, Hartenstein, he's questionable to play. If Hartenstein's out again, we might see Jericho Sims, question mark. Thought Precious Achiuwa would have got the start or would have played deep minutes considering that he did the game before, but I guess that was just a revenge factor for him that they let him play 30 plus minutes. If Hartenstein is going to be out again and they do start Jericho Sims, that's a GPP option right there, honestly. But definitely want to pay attention on what's going on at the center spot right here. The Kings taking on the Warriors. No news really for the Kings. Sasha, not worried about that. Golden State Warriors, they played last night. Heavy hearts, but they got through it. They definitely played. They balled out. The Bulls, Zach LaVine, still without Zach. The Lakers, LeBron James, he missed the last game with an ankle. Definitely want to know if he's going to actually be in or out. So this is a true game time decision tag on him. And then Anthony Davis, he's been game time decision almost every freaking game, but normally he does come out there and play. Heading over to DraftKings, the site that I play the most on the site that if you guys don't got an account, you want one, check the link down in the description below so you guys can get that deposit match bonus and join me over here on the King. Starting out, Utah taking on Washington. This should be a pretty decent game, close game. This might be the game that I actually stack for tonight, considering that both sides of this, pretty good fantasy goodness, long as Washington can actually keep the game close, competitive, and does not get blown out. I pretty much said the same thing 3 different ways. So hopefully this will be a good game. Over here on Utah's side, Lauri Markkanen, great bounce back spot. We just saw Cat drop 40 plus fantasy points. Really good realm for Lauri. The upside is definitely going to be there for him. 8K, decent mid-tier price tag for a stud. Colin Sexton been balling over his last several games. Kid's putting up at least 30 plus fantasy points in every single game. If you haven't already, his 1.5 3 points made, really good prop to take the over on that. Clarkson would be the GPP option you come down to off of Sexton if you want to pivot. Decent upside right there. Strictly GPP. I do feel like the floor is much safer with Sexton. John Collins, as long as he's getting the start and he's going to play his normal role, his normal minutes, which he does typically fluctuate between the 25 to 30-ish minutes on any given night. Like I said, between him and Walker Kessler, those minutes have been fluctuating back and forth between the two. So right now it's looking like a split over the last couple of games. Depending on whether or not, on what they, or not even whether or not, we're not going to know what they're going to do, to be quite frank. John Collins, he should get the start. Walker Kessler might get more of the run. Not too sure. But either way, the matchup is good for both of these centers going up against Washington, who we know give up a plethora of points to the center position. So either one of those guys are good. And then Fontecchio sitting at 4-1. The dude was sitting at 3-6 last game, dropped 32 fantasy points low. I don't even understand why his price is so low, but the upside is definitely there, especially going up against the Washington Wizards. I do like the upside for him as well. Definitely a decent play. And then Keontae George, Chris Dunn, Kelly Olynyk, all these guys would be GPP options for me. Dunn would be the one that you can look at him, consider it, question it, scratch your head. I'll say if he can keep himself out of foul trouble, the upside is huge for Dunn. He grades out as a really great play. We know opposing point guards, they've done decent going up against Washington throughout the season, throughout the year. Definitely in consideration. I just have my own personal bias because every time I play Dunn, he seems to just give me a floor game. But the upside is definitely there for him. Favorite plays over here is going to be Lauri Markkanen and Colin Sexton, Clarkson for GPP, and then John Collins. Over here on the Washington side, if this game can stay close, Kyle Kuzma is in a really great prime spot to actually pop off. Played 35 minutes yesterday, almost had a triple-double, 49 fantasy points. He should be able to repeat this here again. Long as he give me 30 plus at 7-9, not a bad play at all whatsoever. Denny Avnia, last night, my boy balled out, 41.5 fantasy points, talked him up on the stream, definitely went out there and he delivered. I don't expect another 40 plus fantasy point game, maybe more towards his mean, towards a 25-ish fantasy points, but the upside is definitely going to be there for him. Tyus Jones, opposing point guards going up against the Jazz, we've taken that. He plays very well. We know he has a pretty good ceiling. If we can get a ceiling game from him, the assist flying and him actually scoring, the upside is pretty huge for him at 6'5". Kind of teeter on the side of, do I really want to play that? Not too sure right there. Gafford and Bagley, with them splitting the minutes right there, I'm not too interested in either one of these guys. And then just straight up GPP option for Jordan Poole. Everyone off the bench over here, not interested in none of those guys. Philly taking on Indy. Like I said, Tobias Harris, game time decision. Need to know if he's going to actually play. He's in danger of missing just the second game of the season. If he can't shake off this alignment, House, Korkmaz, Keontae Martin, they'll see increased roles. but he's just sick. So definitely need to see if he was at shoot around or not for today. Of course, I'm recording this before the injury report comes out for midday. But if Tobias is going to be out, we'll see some other players get to step up and get some more of that run. With that being said, Joel Embiid still smash matchup, smash spot. Miles Turner is not going to be able to hold a candle to him. Just the rate that Embiid is just scoring, just it's crazy. 70 points in that last game, 105 fantasy points. Pretty much matchup proof. Not even pretty much. He's matchup proof out there. Unless he decides he wants to go out there and not have a good game, you're going to get a good game out of Embiid. Tyrese Maxey, second fiddle, definitely can go there. If Tobias Harris was to miss, I would imagine that we can see an uptick in regards to a couple more shots for players like Tyrese Maxey or for Kelly Oubre Jr. One of these two guys will definitely have to have a good game. Kelly O, again, I'll say it time and time again, I do still believe that he plays better with Joel Embiid out there. I'm not going to recant that statement. Definitely if Tobias Harris is to miss, the rebounds can go up for him. The steal block upside can be there for him. The points with him having to actually score, bring up the 16, 17 points that Tobias Harris averages on the season is going to be needed to be taken by someone else. Kelly Oubre definitely could be that guy right there, along with, of course, Joel Embiid. If they put Joel Embiid's free throw prop up at like a 9.5, I will take the over on that every single time. Over here on the Pacers side, of course, with no Tyrese Halliburton, TJ McConnell, upside is going to be huge. If he starts, if they actually have him as a starting point guard, we know he can score. He plays pretty good on defense, and he also dishes the rock. Don't hate none of those options for him. The upside is huge. Really do like him as a play at 5,400. Nice, good starting price for the point guard. The only issue is that Nembhard, he is back. He's fine. He played 27 minutes in that last game, 26.25 fantasy points. So the upside, depending on which one you want to go with, I'd say it's McConnell. If he's not starting, he's the GPP option. You can hope that he comes in and just blows out the water what Nembhard could do and is converting at a high fantasy point per minute clip. If not, Nembhard, he will be your safer option that you can definitely go to. Players like Mathurin, Nesmith, Toppins, they're all going to be GPP options. Siakam, if there's no Tobias Harris, I do think the upside for him could be there pretty decently. He's definitely acclimating to his role over here with the Indiana Pacers. I'm not going to hate it, but not a must in my book at 7-1. I don't think you have to go there to him. Minnesota Timber Pups, like I said, Mike Conley was ruled out yesterday for illness. He was sick. If he's actually at a shoot around or anything like that, or if we get an update midday and Conley's going to be in, then that's good to go. If not, then of course Nickeil Alexander-Walker going to be another pretty much your plug and play chalk value play of the day at that 4,500 price tag. Let you go ahead and build around and play whatever else you want to go to. And of course, we know that more ball handling responsibilities, playmaking duties will be in Anthony Edwards' hands. The upside for him will be huge. It's going up against the Brooklyn Nets. I'm not scared of Mikal Bridges' defense, Cam Thomas. None of these guys that the Nets have that they can throw at him, or Spencer Dinwiddie. Not scared of any of those guys over there. Anthony Edwards, pretty good spot. Outside of that, both the bigs and Karl-Anthony Towns and Rudy Gobert, they have really good matchups. Legit. The Nets don't have the size to actually be able to deal with them. They have no Day'Ron Sharpe. Claxton, he can only defend oh so much going out there against these guys. 35 minutes yesterday for Towns, dropped 41.5 fantasy points. Got himself in a little bit of foul trouble, but got himself going towards the second half of the game. And then Rudy bounced back in a major way. Love what he put up. As you can see, in 35 minutes, going up against the Washington Wizards, dropped 50 fantasy points. Right now, we got my boy John Collins and Walker Kessler. Matchup is beautiful for them going up against that defense over there. On the Brooklyn Shitters, I hate the team. Cannot fucking stand them. Don't like them. What is the team that you guys hate? Because I know I cannot be the only one that hates the Brooklyn Nets. Just, God, I hate the Nets. They're ridiculous. I liked them for a little bit when they had Kyrie, Harden, and KD. But now it's just like, bro, just, I can't. Right now, the most consistent player currently for them is Mikal Bridges. Over his last several games, he's dropped 30 plus fantasy points. If they want to keep the game close, it is going to be at the hands of Mikal's going to actually have to go out here and show that he can be an alpha. 26 shot in that last game going up against the Knicks. Not something that you see too often. And honestly, they had the game, like they were leading a good chunk of that game. They suck for honestly just blowing the league. But Bridges, you can definitely mess with him, go there, especially if Cam Tomlin is going to miss. You're going to see an uptick in regards to like maybe some shooting, some shots, and just everything, the usage. But Cam Thomas, I would imagine that maybe he gets slid into the starting lineup again. I know he's been coming off the bench the last couple of games. He's been hit or miss, hot or cold. Really, he has to get his scoring going in order for him to do anything. GP option, and I've spent way too much time talking about the Brooklyn Shitters. Outside of that, if you want to play Claxton as a GP option, go right ahead, but not my cup of tea. Over here on the Denver Nuggets side, it's pretty straight cut forward. The Joker on the road, the dude balls on the road. 56, 63, 78, 69. The matchup going up against the New York Knicks, especially if Hartenstein's out there, I'm not too scared about that defense or the matchup, period. But if Hartenstein's not out there, they really don't have anyone that they can actually throw at him. They truly do not have anyone that can match up with the uses, the production, everything that he actually brings. And one thing I would definitely take for sure would be his points. If you're looking at a prop, play for the Joker on the day, the matchup is it's a good matchup all around. I love the upside for him. I love him as a play, as a spend up on today's slate. Again, triple double upside. I see it. Looks really good. Could take his rebounds, assists, his points, assists, whatever you want to take in regards to him. The upside is definitely going to be there for him. Love it, love it, love it, love it. Cannot explain enough. Jamal Murray, I know he's been balling out the past couple games, but I will take a step back from this one. I'll let everyone chase that. I really just much prefer the Joker. Michael Porter Jr., Aaron Gordon. Porter definitely burned a lot of people in that last game. 14 fantasy points in 31 minutes. Bounce back in it for a bounce back spot, but not too interested, too heavy there, especially with OG being out there. The defense that he can actually put on a Michael Porter Jr. or Aaron Gordon. If Aaron Gordon, which I want to say, okay, shoulder, he played. AG didn't look too hot in that last game again. So, but just the defense that they're going to have to deal with Julius Randle and OG out there, pretty good defenders in regards to the small forward and power forward position. I'm not too interested in Michael Porter Jr. or Aaron Gordon. KCP will be probably your GPP, not even probably, he is your GPP value option at 4.7. Not a must. Anyone else over on this team, I really don't have any interest on. Only one I really do have interest in is truly Nikola Jokic over there. Now, on the other side of that, Julius Randle, like the upside for him, 8-9, especially if there's no Hartenstein. The rebounds, looks like he's rebounding and he's playmaking quite a bit. And it really has been, since they got rid of RJ Barrett, his usage and Brunson, they're going up. I understand that OG is over here. OG can definitely go out there. He can knock down some shots. But when I watch the Knicks play, OG is like a dog on defense. He's putting so much on the defensive side. And I feel like his defense here on the Knicks is completely different from what he was giving us on the Raptors. Now, granted, I didn't watch a ton of Raptors games. I'm going to be very honest about that. But watching him on the Knicks, the defense that this dude is putting out there, I'm not seeing him have to be so active on the offensive side. With that being said, again, Julius Randle, Brunson, both these guys, the usage that they're having, that they're holding, it's pretty good. They are literally carrying the team. I like the upside for Julius Randle here in the spot. Brunson be the second fiddle. I could see a lot of people going to Brunson over Randle, but I will take Randle over Brunson. And today will be the day that Randle is going to go ahead and burn me. Outside of that, Dante DiVincenzo, Preston Stewart, Josh Hart. Out of all these guys, Josh Hart will be my favorite one at 4.3. If Dante gets himself into foul trouble or anything crazy out there trying to guard Jamal Murray or KCP, we can see Josh Hart come in. We know that he's a tweener. He can guard some of your best perimeter players. He can definitely guard some of your forwards, things like that. The upside is definitely there. We know he can rebound pretty good. And if he needs to score, he will score. But at 4.3, like the upside, like the price for him as well. Like I already said, Jericho Sims, he'll be a GPP option, like just completely GPP. But I don't see myself getting either one of these bigs over here on the Knicks going up against the Denver Nuggets. Like that's just being very, very honest. Boston taking on Miami over here for them. Tatum, of course, is stud if you want to pay up for him. Definitely can see it. One of these two, they're going to draw that Jimmy Butler defense, and if Jimmy is locked in, definitely can hold one of them down. One of the other two will have to go off. KB, I'm not too worried about him going up against Bam. The upside definitely could be there for him. We have seen a couple of centers actually have pretty decent games going up against Bam. I know he held Jaren Jackson Jr. in check last night, but Jaren Jackson Jr. is technically a power forward. And of course, we know he gets himself in the foul trouble. KP, the way that he's stretching the floor, all those things, do like the upside for him here in this matchup. Sitting at 8-1, not a bad price tag. I don't hate it, but I don't love it. The player that I do actually like, and I do feel like has a pretty good safe floor and possibly a higher upside, will be Derek White. 6.6 price tags. Coming off a shit game, be very honest. Going up against Dallas, 34 minutes, only dropped 18.5 fantasy points, but we've seen back-to-back 43, 44 fantasy point games and some pretty good matchups going up against Denver and Houston. And then the matchup playing up against the Miami Heat earlier this season, he dropped 40 plus fantasy points in that game. Hopefully he can repeat that here for me. I do like the upside for him. Drew Holiday, I really don't like playing him because he's literally just a mixed pot of what you can actually get. He will be the GPP option between these two. I will say White will be more safer than Drew Holiday in this spot. I'm not even going to chance it with him. Everyone else here with the full main guys actually healthy, I have no interest in Al Horford, Peyton Pritchard, Cornette, Hauser, none of those guys. I don't have any interest over there. For Miami, Bam, again, pretty much just like a tick for tack. Both centers can actually go out here and have a pretty decent game going up against each other. Not a bad spot. I don't expect another 6-block game for Bam, but Played 40 minutes last night, so I would have to imagine maybe some tired legs right there. Definitely might be a spot we can take some unders on. Let's look at something a little bit even deeper. The 24th. So he's had a couple games off before having this back-to-back. But Bam Adebayo, he played pretty good in the first game that they did play, going up against Boston earlier this season. So the upside can be there for him, but not someone that I'm really too high on. Jimmy Butler, I really don't care to even play. Again, I know he can lock in for certain games, certain matchups, but it's a mixing pot, and the matchup is not the greatest, especially when you're drawing Jason Tatum defense. And if Jaylen Brown keeps himself out of foul trouble, they're both pretty good defenders when actually they can lock in, and they normally do get up for matchups like this. Terry Rozier, if he starts, I will take Terry Rozier at 7-3. Do not mind the upside that he can actually bring to this team. Like I said last night, first game, played 29 minutes for the Heat. 9 points, I know, not what you would expect, but 3 of 11 from the field. We know Terry can do a little bit more. He has to get used to the Heat system and all that other good stuff. But 5 assists, 4 rebounds, and dug in on defense, grabbed 2 steals. Upside definitely going to be there for Terry. Tyler Hero. If Terry starts, I'm not going to mess with Tyler Hero. Starting, you can definitely go there if you want to chance it, but not something that you have to. Really, it's kind of just when it comes to looking at the Heat. No one really sticks out as must plays over here for me on the Heat at all whatsoever. The Kings taking on the Golden State Warriors. This should be another good matchup because we've seen this several times. We know that both of these teams, they like to get up whenever they play against each other, dating all the way back to when they were in the playoffs. Now, for whatever reason, De'Aaron Fox, he loves to get up for this matchup going up against the Warriors, going up against Steph Curry. As you can see, out of all of his last 5 games, he's had one game where he went at least for 50 plus fantasy points. Typically, that is what he drops going up against the Warriors. So De'Aaron Fox, upside is definitely going to be there for him. Probably be my favorite play over here on the Kings if I had to pick one. Bonus following up right behind. Triple-double upside anytime that he's on the court if he can actually play make. But I will say he averages less assists on the road than he does at home since this is actually an away game. Monk off the bench, 6K. I really do think that's still just a little bit too much to actually pay for him. Keegan Murray, GPP option, not a must. Really just if he's knocking down the shots and actually killing it out there, he definitely have a really good game. I know the Warriors, they are weak against the power forward position with Kuminga out there. He's not the lockdown defender that Draymond Green is whenever Green was slidden at that power forward spot. So maybe you can take advantage of that right there. But outside of that, over here on the Kangs, not too much outside of De'Aaron Fox, mainly be the main play that I want to get to over there for them. On the Golden State Warriors, Steph Curry, we already know the chef. He's going to go out there. He's going to cook. If you're running it back, this could be a sneaky spot. Well, not even a sneaky spot, but a decent stack where you can, or just a 2-off like we do in football. Take Curry, take Fox as your 2 pay up options. We know Curry, the usage, everything that he has going on. No Chris Paul, no Moody, things like that. Upside can be pretty immense for him here in the spot. 9-3. I doubt a lot of people are going to pay up and pay that much for him. Pod was sick or whatnot. Yeah, he was sick, but still ended up playing yesterday. 27 minutes, 15.75 fantasy points. I know the upside is definitely there for him. I don't mind him as a possible play, but not a must by any means necessary. Klay Thompson, same thing for him. GPP option. The moment that you take Klay, he's going to literally go out there and dud on you. The biggest one I will say is Kuminga. With the fast pace that the Kings play and the pace that Kuminga can play when he's out there on the court, I love the upside for Kuminga in this spot. Love it. Last night went perfect from the field. 11 of 11. A lot of Kuminga shots. He is cutting. He's getting into the lane. He's going in there to go and score. I'm not scared of Sabonis defense. Kegel, not worried about him at all. Jonathan Kuminga, this could be another back-to-back really good game. And we know whenever he gets his minutes and he's dialed in and they actually are letting him play, he plays very well. So the upside for Kuminga is definitely there. I really do like him. Probably would be my favorite play over Steph Curry. Looking at it, he only played 10 minutes in that first game. Well, not even the first game. One of the games going up against the Kings earlier this season. And then outside of that, played 17, dropped 17.25 fantasy points in that game. Played 26, dropped 17.75 fantasy points in that game. So the upside can be there for Kuminga if they actually give him his run and they let him play. Give me that 29 or 30 minutes that he's been given and just let him stay dialed in, tuned in like what he has been. Getting in there on the defensive side as well. Love the upside for Kuminga at that 5.8 price tag. That's just kind of, not even kind of, that's just a little bit too low. The Bulls taking on the Lakers over here. Definitely don't mind Vooch. Kobe White will be my preferred play if I do take anything. But I know there is the narrative of DeMar DeRozan, Debo. Whenever he goes to LA, he normally does like to show out. The upside for Debo definitely is there. Not someone that I really like rostering myself. Again, I'll always go with my boy Alex Caruso, white chocolate, whenever he's out there on the court. The upside for him pretty huge, especially going up against his former team that traded him away. Well, correction, didn't want to pay him, so he left. But Alex Caruso at 5'1", he always seems to be the forgotten guy in the starting lineup. Plays very well, especially with no Zach LaVine. He can get there on the assist side. His defense is definitely much needed and will be needed going up against Austin Reeves and all these other guys they have over there. But Alex Caruso, love the upside here. Definitely one of the things that I have personally been hitting on has been my Laker game stacks. I will have a Laker game stack for tonight. You will guarantee that will be up on X, up on Twitter. So definitely, if you guys don't look for anything, don't like any of my other content, check that out. I will have that up on site today, especially once we get the LA news and everything, whether or not if LeBron James is going to be in or out, if we're going to be getting another D'Lo running the show, going out here just dropping buckets, 51.25 fantasy points, and they want to trade this man. D'Lo's not the problem. He's not. But outside of that, D'Lo, if there's no LeBron James, D'Lo, love him here. Austin Reeves will be your GPP option for a bounce back candidate to have the D'Lo game that D'Lo had, because nobody's going to really want to run and go and play Austin Reeves. Love the upside for D'Lo, not D'Lo, for Austin Reeves as a low-owned play that you can go to. Taurean Prince, long as he's starting, no LeBron James, the upside, huge. 26.25 fantasy points. And when I say huge, that's pretty good for Taurean Prince actually out there knocking down his shots. Actually out there getting in there. We know he's going to play that defense. He can get him some blocks, can get him some steals, can dish rock. He can actually stuff the stat sheet in all categories if he needs to. But Taurean Prince, Rui Hachimura, both those guys would be plays that I wouldn't mind going to. And then Vando off the bench kind of was the forgotten guy. 25 minutes in that game, dropped 33.25 fantasy points, 3 steals, a block, rebounded like hell. Upside, huge for him right there. And then of course Anthony Davis, if there is no LeBron James, you honestly could stack the Lakers if you wanted to, but not a must, not necessary. Out of there, D'Lo be my favorite play if there's no LeBron James. If LeBron's in, all these guys, I'm not forcing anybody in my line at all if LeBron is actually going to be in and he's going to play. But let's look real quick. LeBron ankle questionable, missing the second straight game due to left ankle. Superstars ruled out. So just pay attention to the news. I'm sure we'll get something in the afternoon. And real quick to touch on it, while I was recording, it was noted that Mike Conley was not, no, not Mike Conley. Real quick, Tobias Harris was not present at shoot around, so that sounds like Tobias Harris is going to be doubtful to play for Philly. So with Tobias Harris being more likely being ruled out, we probably might see, because Nick Batum already starts. Marcus Morris said he's not going to be playing at all. Maybe we might get a Kenyon Martin or KJ Martin or a Daniel House Jr. One of these two guys probably moves into the starting lineup. I doubt it's going to be Korkmaz because I have not really seen them even use this dude at all whatsoever. I would imagine it would be Daniel House, who we know has been in the rotation and has been playing minutes. I'm not going to say he's a must play as a value, but he definitely will make my value pool as a considerable play that I can go to, especially opposing power forwards have actually done really well going up against the Pacers, even with them getting Pascal Siakam there. But all right, guys, that's going to be a breakdown for me. Hopefully you guys got something. Drop a like on the video if you guys did enjoy the content. And check me out on Twitter. Check the Patreon if you guys are looking for more stuff. Hopefully you guys do have a good day. With that being said, it's your boy Zoe. Peace.